Welcome to the Home Business Podcast with Richard Capt'n Henderson, publisher of Home Business Magazine, and Sherilyn Colleen, managing editor. This how-to show helps you successfully operate your home-based business.
Greetings and welcome to the Home Business Podcast. I'm Richard Capt'n Henderson, your skipper at Home Business TV.
And I'm Shelby, your co-host.
Let's cure for seeing, get underway. Are you feeling a little down today or need a little more motivation?
Maybe it's time to look no further than your own home office. Yes, your home workspace could be the source of your flagging motivation.
Simple and inexpensive upgrades and changes to your home office could make all the difference.
When it comes to the home office, we too often consider its layout, furnishings, or location for ways to improve it.
But today's guest, Jeanelle Ditto, owner of Blush Interior Design, says that you should start with some easy-to-do spruce ups to greatly improve your daily home office workplace.
So greetings, Jeanelle Ditto. Welcome to the Home Business Podcast. Say hello to our audience.
Hi guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me.
How are we doing once again from beautiful Southern California? You said it was chilly. I mean, you meant like relatively speaking, right?
Yes, this is California right here.
She's got to break out a windbreaker. You get to see, do you see the water at all where you're at? Like,
yeah, so I'm not where I'm sitting right this second, but yes, I'm like 5 to 10 minutes away.
Not bad.
I always point that out. It must be inspiring, the ocean and the salt, salt in the air. And
it's definitely my happy place, I would say.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do a home office spruce up to feel motivated out there, but
right.
outside, we need a little help. So thanks for joining us today and getting a little more motivation out of our workplaces.
Yeah,
me.
Absolutely. So let's dive in. Jeanelle Ditto, let's get to know you better. So you're a firm believer in surrounding yourself with positive energy. Can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, so, the one thing that I really love about design is just that, I love to create ththings that are just, it really can affect your mood. You walk into a place, just picture yourself walking into a place and, it's, you come home and it's dirty or it's, not organized or, you've been out and you're around beautiful things. And then you come home and you're in a space that you don't feel proud of, you don't feel comfortable with. And so that's the one thing I love about design is that I'm able to go in and help people really create an experience. It's not just about, like putting furniture here and doing this and that. It's really about surrounding yourself and making your home an experience.
So you're like kind of like your job. You're doing a successful, good job. You feel like if it increases positive energy, then if the result people get a little more that's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, what sparked your interest in like interior design and like getting into this industry?
So I've been in the medical industry for about 12 years and, I don't know. I was happy with it. I worked my way up corporate America and, worked my way up in that field. And it was great. I was in a lot of hospitals and a lot of doctors' offices. And it was just like very cold and just not
it's not inviting.
Right. Exactly. And I just felt like I've always had like this more of a creative mind. And I love like helping people. So that was the one reason I was in the medical industry was, I wanted to help people, but, it just got to
it's tough to keep your morale. It's tough to keep your morale up in the medical industry. It's just, I know so many people that are burned out doctors. I think I want to go into real estate. It just,
it happens so much.
You got to bring a happy game face every day. And I think it just, God bless people in healthcare. It takes a different kind of person to keep that motivation together. Well, when making changes to your interior surroundings, you emphasize that first impressions matter. Talk with us a little bit about that, Jeanette.
So the first thing I would say is, keeping your space clean and organized is the best the best start for you. And, you know, when people come into your space, they're coming into an experience, right? So you want to create something that's not just beautiful, but you want to create something that is what that design is all about, you, what you're interested in, what your inspirations are. And so they can feel that experience when they come into your space.
Exactly. I feel like that's why everyone's always like cleaning up before a party to make their space look good, because it's a first impression. They want it to look nice for everyone. That kind of
how does this tie into my boot? How does this tie into my boot camp? Because that was the same thing. We had to keep our spaces clean. I don't, you know, there's a connection here.
Yeah, it's discipline, setting the tone and all that.
Yeah, so, keeping your mind clean and free of distractions, right?
Yes, exactly. So you recommend that we could update our office and that it doesn't have to be like too expensive. Like, what are some of these updates you recommend?
So again, like a big thing for me is organization, keeping things nice and clean so that your mind can be, you know, free and clear of distractions. So that's number one, is decluttering, right? And then the second one, the one that I always seem to bring into offices, is more of an open closed feel. So you want to have open shelves. Say, let's just talk about a bookshelf. You want to have bookshelves that are maybe open at the top and then closed at the bottom to hide all the messy papers and files and all the things that you don't want to see. And then on the top of the space, you really want to keep it open to the things that inspire you and the things that make you feel happy in your environment. So
is there anything like with like coverings or simple things people can do to their actual space that aren't too inexpensive that you might recommend?
Yeah, I mean, as far as when you say coverings, do you mean like window treatments and things of that nature?
Oh, maybe just some basic wall, you know, wallpapering, or, you know, you don't really need to get into that level of detail, or?
Absolutely. It's, you know, and two, just adding some color. It's like when you go into just say a corporate office and you're working in a cubicle or something like that, you're around so much white and fluorescent lighting and just, you know, it's hard on your eyes and it drains you, right? So just even bringing in some soft, subtle colors, and, you know, it could be paint, it could be, you know, a picture on the wall, something that, you know, brings some calmness to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know, let's assume that most of our listeners already have their home office configured. Jeanette, what are some simple and inexpensive office furnitures and, you know, cabinetry ideas that might spruce things up? I mean, is that something you could look at maybe in the realm of improving your workspace? Absolutely.
When I do go into a lot of my clients' homes, the number one thing that I see is the space planning is not quite there. So what I mean by that is it's either the desk is too big for the space or it's too small for the space. And I can't really go in and say, you need this size desk for this room, because it really depends on what your workflow is, how much space you actually need for your desk, what kind of work you're doing. Do you need space to lay out? You know, for me, I need a lot of desk space, right? Because I have materials and things of that nature. So, you know, you really need to clear off your space and just, you know, get a desk that's the appropriate size. And again, bringing in some of those open closed bookcases so that you can hide the things that you don't necessarily need, and then open space for the things that inspire you.
Are you a fan of like nice cabinetry? I don't know. So like some people really put an emphasis on getting like nice woodwork around them, and maybe, I don't know. I guess there's different schools of thought on that.
So it really depends on the design style. So I would say, yes, of course, I love custom cabinetry. I love everything beautiful about that. Some people, you know, some people can afford those things and some people can't. And that doesn't mean that your office is not going to be amazing or, you know, as good as somebody else's, because there's a lot of people out there that, you know, their design style is more of a minimalist. So, you know, they want something that's very clean.
Yeah, that's a good word you actually brought out, because is that kind of a trend? It seems like there has been a push towards more minimalist offices. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So minimalist is definitely a style, kind of like a Scandinavian style is more on the minimalist style also. And yeah, I mean, just even like looking at the trends, you remember how there was people that would put together these walls that had like all these different picture frames, and they made like, you know, all these different collages and stuff, where today and where we're moving into for this trend is more large pieces of art, something very simple and clean.
Less clutter.
Less clutter.
Yeah, less
Exactly.
clutter for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Jeanelle, you also recommend simple office reconfigurations with such things as computer cords and power strips. Like, what are these reconfigurations that you recommend?
So, you know, a lot of times when you walk into an office space, you'll see like random cords and everything hanging from, you know, the desk or
Clutter.
Yes. And you're stepping over, you're tripping, you know, so really just positioning your desk to be close to an outlet, and then bringing in the power strip cords. There's so many like little gadgets nowadays where you can hide things and put things in little, you know, cases so that you don't see those lines or see those messy cords. One of the desks that I have, which I absolutely love, is from BDI, and the cover of the front of the desk actually pops off with magnets, so you can hide everything underneath it. And then I have a power strip that goes on the inside line of my desk, so you literally can't see any cords. And so
again, a key thing is like the cords and everything just get worse, and that's leading to a lot of clutter. You got to plan for it and think of ways that you can actually bury that a little bit.
Yeah, it really, I mean, and too, like if you're having somebody come in, like there are people out there that can professionally organize your wires, and
that's what I need.
For you. Absolutely. I think a lot of us need that.
Oh, Jeanelle, if you went into Richard's office, oh my gosh, we would have a field day.
It's gotten better though. I mean, I'm cleaning a little of the clutter out, but you got me fired up. I've got to get more motivation to finish this job.
Definitely. So Jeanelle, yes, I have a random question. You know, with the pandemic, a lot of people are working from home. Like a lot of people just want to work from their couch or their bed. How do you inspire these people to get off the couch and the bed into a home office?
So some people don't have the, you know, the luxury of actually having a room dedicated to an office. So, you know, you definitely need to position yourself where you have a designated workspace, whether that means if you have, nowadays, there's so many open plan houses, right? That's what everybody's into. There's no walls anywhere. It's just one big room, your kitchen, your living room, your dining room, everything's in the same space. So what I would suggest is bringing in some cool decorative, you know, dividers for your house. And you can literally, there's so many options out there. There's industrial mesh that you could use, actual room dividers.
But you got to do something to separate it. So there's some kind of a trend.
You really need that space so that you can focus and be creative and you know,
Let's build a little bit on that. You know, with the home office, you are having to make that transition to having two functions, working and living in one domicile. Which, you know, what are some simple interior designs that might make this transition more seamless and inviting within your home, having an office and trying to blend it in with your living space?
I would just say you want to keep things consistent in your home. So don't try and, you know, make this office, you know, super executive if that's not the way your house is. If your house is very minimalist and free of stuff, like just make your office space the same way. You don't need to try and reinvent like this new design concept into your home. You need to just keep things cohesive and keep the design flowing throughout, you know, each area.
I like that advice you have. Don't be super executive.
Yeah. Like let's just be honest. Yeah, be honest with yourself. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you don't have to bring in the huge executive desk and the big cabinets and the big leather chair. Like, just keep it simple.
I mean, the more minimalist it is, the better it'll blend into your existing home then.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Just cut it out. Okay. So Jeanelle, we usually neglect sense of smell into making our office better. But how can different fragrances, perhaps seasonal fragrances, spruce up your workspace?
I am a big believer in smell. I feel like, for one, I am kind of, we all have the five senses, right? And I do not hear very well. I don't know what happens to my hearing. I don't know if it's age. I don't know what it is, but sense of smell is so important to me. So absolutely. I mean, think about like when you go into a spa and you just, all those smells and those fragrances, they help relax you. Same thing with your home. It's bringing in something that makes you feel a certain way is so important. And I would say, oh, these are my favorite smells or fragrances, but honestly, it really depends on the person.
What do they call that? Aromatherapy or something?
Yes. There's so many versions of aromatherapy. Some people just really love pumpkin and, holiday smells. I just love anything that smells clean and, refreshing and inviting. So that's, everybody has their own different palette, but yeah, absolutely. Don't forget the smelly good stuff.
So it actually can improve your morale and it just makes working from home better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm curious, have you thought about coming out with like different scents or like different like candles? Like, have you ever thought about this like avenue of business or?
Absolutely. One of my big dreams is to eventually carry my own line of furniture and decor. I would absolutely love that. And that's definitely where I want to bring my business after building my brand up. So yes, that's definitely in my future, hopefully. So
now listeners, that was a key word she just used, build the brand. And that is so important to, getting a certain furniture line or whatever you want to do is having that brand attached to it. And that's the critical success factor that really helps that, makes that more feasible to do with all the confusion and clutter out there trying to break through. But one other key item, you have an interesting take with lighting about focusing on warmer vice brighter. And I hadn't really looked at it that way, but it makes a lot of sense. Talk with us about how making an improvement in lighting can make your office better, improve your morale.
So I would say, again, like I said earlier, it's, walking into somewhere that has like really bright light, like for instance, this office does not have the best light right now. This is like more of the normal business office lighting. And since I'm growing, I'm actually sitting in my office right now. So I'm actually not in my home office. I'm in my business office. So my lighting's not the best right now, but what I do love about it is bringing in layered lighting. So I have the natural windows that are right here in front of me and just layering the light. So I would say make sure all of your lights are on dimmers. That's like a huge thing for me. The first thing I do when I walk into a home is I'm like, why are there no dimmers on any of your lights? Like bring in dimmers because you don't feel the same way in the morning and at night and the afternoon. So, bring in layered lighting, bring in, softer lights, not the fluorescent stuff, softer LED lights, and then maybe bring in some mood lighting, table.
So if somebody can't like really do much with that, but they want to make an improvement, just like next time you go to the hardware store, get a dimmer bulb.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So, and then again, like bringing in like maybe a table lamp or a floor lamp, and then a lot of people are bringing in those twinkly like string lights. I love that idea. I love everything like that. So, it's just whatever really makes you feel good and calm. So,
I think a key point to bring away from that with you is that everything ties into our morale at working from home. So give thought to lighting and what you're more comfortable with, because that could be in the background in your subconscious making you uncomfortable and you don't even realize. You just got to think a bit about the lighting and you'd see what's better then. Yeah.
See what makes you feel cozy and, and productive. Exactly. Not something that's going to, work's already exhausting, right? So it's like, don't bring in other elements that are going to make things work against you. Exactly.
Yeah. Now I got these Krieg lights working against me. I got to do the podcast. I definitely notice it when I do the podcast. I have those silly lights and it is not motivating.
So I have a question. Why do you think corporate is so, that if you've noticed across corporate cultures, they all have fluorescent lighting. Why do you think that is? Is it cheaper to install that lighting or?
Yeah, I mean, it was just, yeah, absolutely. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably why then. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sense.
But nowadays, LED is it's getting so popular and out there. So, the prices of that are definitely coming down. So I think, there are a lot of affordable LED options out there.
Don't be penny wise and pound foolish.
That's
Get
right.
nice warm lighting, spend a little extra.
Just a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
So Jeanelle Ditto, this has been a great discussion on sprucing up our home office to improve our morale. Do you have any final points you'd like to share with us?
Don't be so worried about what everybody else thinks is cool and awesome. Like really, this is your space, and, let's design things to make you feel good in your space. And so that's the one thing I say is, when I meet clients, I'm just like, let's, what do you like? What do you want to do? What colors do you like? Let's make this work for you. This is your home. You're going to be in it every day, not everybody else. So just really finding the things that make you feel good and creating a space where you feel productive.
So maybe like we like to end with a good first step to do. Maybe just take a look at your office like I need to do and start thinking about it and clean up the clutter and then work from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, Jeanelle, thank you so much for joining us today. To learn more about Jeanelle Ditto and Blush Interior Designs, please visit blushinteriordesigns.com or our podcast website for more information on guests.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Home Business Podcast. Share your feedback with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our website, homebusinessmag.com.
Visit the website for information on advertising. Subscribe to our newsletter. Read our book, The Home-Based Business Startup Guide. For more info, visit homebusinessmag.com or homebusinessexpo.com.
I'm Richard Capt'n Henderson saying anchors away.
We'll talk with you soon. Until then.
Make it a great home office day.